Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Crossroads. I'm Deepti. I lead the value discovery function here at Pando. I essentially work with supply chain leaders across the world where I understand what their priorities are and help them quantify what value they're able to drive by solving some of these problems. In our Crossroads series on pivotal women in supply chain, we speak to successful leaders in supply chain and IT to hear their inspiring stories, understand what it takes to break the glass ceiling, and hear what advice they have for other women professionals. Today's conversation is with Damaris Aracil. She's a director of supply chain for Middle East and Africa at Kimberly-Clark. She began her professional career in sales and marketing at a German manufacturing company. She then joined Kimberly-Clark in Spain as a key account manager. After 3 years in sales, she essentially moved her family to the US to seek out her next big challenge, which was manufacturing. Here, she was a lean coordinator and asset leader for Kleenex facial tissues. After 3 years in America, she came back home to Spain and joined the supply chain Middle East and Africa team. Here, she's essentially leading supply chain projects and then implementing and leading demand planning in the region. Thank you, Damaris, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Nice to be here.
Sure. So we'll get started. Supply chain is now becoming a very diverse function, and there are a growing number of women that are starting to sort of specialize in it and lead the function. From your point of view, what advantages do you think women bring as leaders in this particular function and in boardroom conversations?
I think that women as itself, it's not that they bring something different. It's for being a woman, that is what I mean. It's just if the companies or the functions don't have the diversity, they will miss a thing, okay? So it happens in supply chain, it happens in manufacturing, it happens in sales. If you are surrounded with the same leadership skills and the same gender or the same profile, you will lose things, right? Same happen with the women. If they are not there, you will be missing something. So it's not only about the gender, but about the skills and about everything. Imagine that supply chain or manufacturing is just full of women. We will be missing something, right? So the beauty is having the diversity. That is what
Absolutely. It's like any other function. It helps to have a diverse audience and a diverse team.
Different point of view, different skills. So.
Got it. Coming to your professional background. So you started your career in sales and then you sort of moved into manufacturing and now you're leading a supply chain function. Can you walk us through how you managed those transitions? What were some of the pivotal moments? Did your experience with, let's say, one function, maybe in sales, help you with your next role and how you was able to sort of leverage those learnings?
I think that I started my career in sales, as you were saying. I had 15 years of sales and I thought that is where I belong, okay? There was a moment, one of the pivotal moments is when some of my leaders saw in me some skills that they wanted to take advantage of them in a different department that was manufacturing. Of course, at the beginning, I was super scared. Like, what am I going to do? I'm moving from somewhere or some position that I do well. I perform very nice. I drive results. So why do I want to move, right? But that curiosity of trying to do different things and keep on learning make me move to the new position. And from there, I moved to lean culture, manufacturing, operations. Then I came back to supply chain in demand planning, running projects for supply chain. And the learnings, or what I have learned from every one of the moves, is that what you have is your skills, right? And when you move from one position to other, you add that plus the experience that you have behind. The cross-functional moves are fantastic to make you have an overall overview, to take you away from the silo mindset or thinking that your position was the only one that is good or is adding value, and you really understand the big picture. So it's a fantastic school for change management. Okay, so you don't have to do a training. You just have to do a couple of changes and you will see how that works. And of course, helps you to drive improvements and to make you more reliant.
Got it. And I think that what I've also seen is that coming from a different function, you sort of bring that outside in perspective. You're looking at problems from a different lens. It's not the lens that specialists in that team have been looking at it as. You essentially bring that outside perspective.
And you realize that how important is be empathetic with the other functions, right? And don't really think, okay, I need to really put myself in those shoes, because what I think is important here, when you were on the other side, you thought that was more important. So yeah, it's again, it's super important to understand how other departments work, and also understand their KPIs, the ways of working. So really see also how to work better with other ones. So yeah,
absolutely. And there's more collaboration that needs to happen the higher you go.
Exactly.
Got it. So coming to leaders, is there one particular leader who's had a big impact on you? What was your big takeaway from working with them? And then I guess as a leader yourself, what kind of advice would you give to the next generation?
Yeah, for me, again, the leader that changed or have the most impact in me was this one that really showed me things that I didn't know I have, okay? And that taught me that success always comes after effort. So don't put barriers to you or limits to you and where you want to go. There is always something more that we can do and we can learn, and that hunger, okay, of continue learning and growing was fantastic. Mainly when you take away the limits or the barriers that you have on yourself, right? And that is what I try to do with my team always. First of all, you need to put a lot of effort in what you do, and then success will come afterwards. Nothing is coming for free. We need to work hard. We need to be very curious, okay? Because curiosity also is super important. And we talk a lot about feedback in Kimberly-Clark. Super important as well to know how to grow and what are the areas for improvement. And the network, the team, you will not go up by yourself or just with your team leader, right? You need your support of your peers and of your team. So a lot of things, but never alone. You need to go always with someone, with your team and with everyone.
Got it. And are there any sort of women leaders that you specifically look up to?
I'm not an idol person, okay? I don't have a lot of idols, but I can say everyone that is able to do a normal life. What I do a normal life is having a personal and a professional career, because at the end, I think that perhaps 50 years ago, women were not able, or was more difficult for them to study and have a career. But now almost everyone has been on the university, want to work, but also want to have kids. And I don't like to choose. So every woman that has been able to do that, for me, is a fantastic mirror to look at. If you think about famous ones, I don't know, we can say Miss Obama, right? So she has been able to continue with her career and be the woman of the president of the United States. But again, if you have a look around us, my friends, my sisters-in-law, my sister, again, every woman that has been able to do for me is a normal life, which is having a dual career.
Absolutely. No, I think that's so true. The people around you sort of influence you a lot more. Of course, there are, these famous idols, as you like to call them, and absolutely agree. Why should women have to choose between having a personal life and having a career?
Yeah. Before perhaps, but not anymore, right?
Absolutely.
I think that now we have demonstrated that we can do everything, and it's okay. You need to get ready for it, but if you want, why not?
So there are leaders and then there are mentors, right? I think there's a stark difference between the two. And for years, sort of research has showed that having mentors can have a significant impact on your professional life. And we spoke about this earlier as well. Can you tell me a little about how mentorship in general has helped you and how you sort of developed these relationships?
I have had mentors for a while, for around 7 or 8 years. And the use I do with them, I use them for benefit, of course. But it's because sometimes you need someone external, okay, to put you to take you away of the doubts that you have, or to show you the bigger picture that you don't see because you're obsessed with one problem or someone. So someone that really gives you a little bit of a realistic view on a problem, help you or challenge you in a safe environment that perhaps when I have doubts and I don't want to connect with my team leader for whatever reason, because I don't want to upset or I don't want to create doubts, I use this person like, how should I, or what do you think about my next movement in the career? I'm thinking about this. What do you recommend me? Or I'm having this struggling with this team member or with this peer that I cannot deal with, or I don't know, things like perhaps I want to have an external overview that can help me growing as well. It's not that that person is gonna give me or tell me what I have to do, but at least made me see the things from a different angle. And that is what I'm trying to do. I'm mentoring 3 or 4 people in KC, couple of women, couple of men, younger generations that they want to grow, and mainly I am there for whatever they want in any moment. So yeah, super important, I think, because again, it's trying to have the safe environment to put there your doubts and your, when you don't feel well, and they can help you to continue growing.
Absolutely. It's great to see Casey actually have programs for like mentorship.
Yes, it's internal ones, and and even between leaders. So if we see that there is a potential, or there is someone that is really keen to have some advices from somewhere else, or some additional region or function, we talk between us. Hey, I have this person that is very curious. So we really encourage this within our teams.
And from your, again, professional career, you've essentially worked, in the US, you worked in Spain. Now you're working with the Middle East team. How have you sort of managed all of these vastly different careers, cultures, work ethics, and even time zones? How you've been able to manage all of that?
As you're saying, everyone is different, right? So from Spain to the US to Middle East or to South Africa or Nigeria. First of all, we need to start with the respect to everyone, especially at the beginning. What I have done is always be surrounded by people that can advise me, okay? Because it's very important to understand what are the different things that we have to be careful, okay? I'm from a Latin country, Spain. Not everyone is like me, but we are used to touch, we are very close. And there is some other cultures that they need more space and things like this. So you need to be careful, not be overwhelming or not being disrespectful. So for that, I have always been, again, I look for some support in my HR colleagues. I always ask for advice at the beginning. And then as far as you spend time with them and you understand how everyone, you enjoy about it, and you very nice to work with the diversity and understand that not everyone is like you, right? What we were saying before, women, men, the different cultures are exactly the same, and then you have to challenge yourself in some of the things, because we have to work with someone different, and you cannot use the same style, the same approach, which is fantastic. So, but respect is the most important thing. To respect everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming to Kimberly-Clark, so wanted to sort of get into the specifics of the organization. KC was founded on the principle of producing high quality products, excellent customer service, and affordable pricing. I think in the last sort of 5 years or more, consumer needs in general have been extremely dynamic. And even from a macroeconomic landscape, everything has been extremely unpredictable, right? You've got the pandemic and a whole bunch of external factors that have sort of affected supply chains. How is the supply chain team at Kimberly-Clark sort of being agile or being able to sort of respond to these changes a lot faster?
Well, especially, since COVID, our life changes, right? We had to start working from home, first of all, 24 hours or 7 days a week, working from home when we were used to live. And that was the first change. Then all the disruptions that the supply chain came. So For me, being able to build a strong and empowered team was the main thing at the beginning, because we needed to trust everyone and empower everyone to make decisions and move fast because of the environment that we were, right? Also, we understood that resources were going to be limited, and we did struggle because of the COVID, right? So we had to really understand where were the barriers, where were the processes that we needed to improve and be more efficient. So we had to start working on what were those opportunities to make sure that we simplify our process, we simplify our ways of working. We had to be faster to react to all the changes, and we found that brought a lot of improvements, right? We were able to improve our planning because we were able to simplify our SKU, for example. We were able to share the learnings and improve the communications with the key stakeholders to avoid surprises and to let them know what was going to come so we could act before. And at the beginning was tough, but then COVID has gone almost, and we continue to work like that. And we have been able to improve also our work-life balance. We are now working in flexible environments. We are more empowered to make decisions by our own. And I think it's been a good thing. Not everything has been bad, you know?
So in terms of young professionals, what's some advice that you would give to folks that are just starting off their careers or are sort of in the middle of their careers right now?
So my advice is to be curious, okay? And sometimes there is a perception that the only way to grow is going up, okay? That you have to be in sales, imagine, or in manufacturing, just going up, 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 up. That is the only way to keep on growing. And I think that is a mistake. There is a huge opportunity when you do cross-functional moves, okay? That is when you really move, you really grow, because you change, you really move away from your comfort zone, okay? And you start having, again, what we were talking before, a different overview of the businesses. So don't think that a cross-functional move or a lateral move is not a promotion, is not a way of growing, and a way of continuous improve. It's super important, I think, that we do that more.
Absolutely.
And for me, it's been work. It works. So I'm a clear example that works, and you can continue growing. Okay, just make sure that you put all the effort, you do well, and continue growing.
Exactly. I was just going to say that, and I think, based on our previous conversation, bringing in that outside perspective into the new function sort of sets you up for success as well. So whatever projects that you sort of take on in that new function end up being, have a higher likelihood for success, I guess. And if you were to sort of give your younger self, so when you were starting your career, if you were to give yourself advice, now sort of looking back, what were some of the things that you got wrong? What were some of the things that you were anxious about that you shouldn't have been so anxious about?
I think that we need to follow our passion, our interests. Sometimes, or when I was in the university, I didn't want to fail. Okay, and when I started working, I just wanted to do the things right all the time. And sometimes it's okay to fail. I think that we learn a lot from failing. It's okay. So just follow your passion, work hard, and do what you want to do in your life. It's okay to fail in the meantime, and learn from that, of course. Don't make the same mistakes 20 times, right? You make it once, you learn, and keep on growing. I thought that what I wanted to be was a marketing manager, okay? And I started marketing, and I realized that I didn't like, and I moved to another department, and I had the opportunity. So what I thought, or what I was studying for, I have never worked there or permanently, right? So just do what you want to do, try new things, keep on learning. I think that is important.
Absolutely. Coming to, you mentioned having a normal life and having sort of that work-life balance in our previous conversation. How do you sort of maintain that yourself?
First of all, I work a lot and I work very hard. Okay. But I am married. I have 2 kids and I love enjoying my life as well. Okay. So there is during the week, mainly I work a lot. I wake up early. I have breakfast and I start early to read emails and things like this. And then we start with the meetings. I have dinner every day with my family. Okay. That is a must. The 4 of us, we have dinner together every day. When the kids arrive from school, sometimes they sit down with me while I am in calls. They are doing their homeworks and we try to eat together, but still I work. And Friday afternoons, I stop working. And I enjoy as much as I can Saturdays and Sundays. The reality is that it's we are slaves for that, but for me, it saves me a lot as well. During the week, even if I am working, I have to have it because I have 2 kids and I want to know what is happening with them all the time. But during the weekend, I have my team, that some of my team is working and I want to know if they are safe and working well. So it can be make you a slave or it can be allow you to do your life when that everything is okay. So for me, it works pretty well. Again, I try to disconnect as much as I can, but knowing that I am a mom every day of my life and I am at work almost every day of my life as well. But I do a lot of things. So, I mean, I think there is time for everything. You can enjoy and you keep on working and it's okay.
And how would you sort of describe your leadership style?
I try to, the most important thing for me is building trust with the team. Okay. So I try to build that trust with them to allow them to make decisions. And I just want them to know that I am there all the time. Okay. In case they need me. I like to empower them and I like them to really own their work. And of course, if I can help, that is my job. I want them to make sure that they have all they need to succeed as well. I think that is my main responsibility. Support them and make them grow as well. I like to work on their development areas because I think that is how we all work. I mean, we all grow, right? So that is something that I really like as well. And mainly for them to know that I am there to help them to make sure that they succeed.
And you've, again, worked in so many different countries, so many different cities. Do you have a favorite city and why?
Madrid.
Apart from
Madrid, because it's my home. Madrid, because it's my home and my people is there, my friends, my family. Apart from that, I don't mind. You can take me anywhere. I love living in the US. I love living here. I'm gonna say something. I like the sun. So any city in the world that there is sun, I will be super happy.
And you've chosen absolutely Dubai. There's so much sun. Yeah.
No, I have been lucky. You know, at the end, when you want something, it comes. So yes, and now I'm in the Middle East, so it's difficult to have more sun than here. So yeah,
absolutely. The power of manifestation.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what's the one thing that business school doesn't teach you?
You don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. You can have all the theory, right? And you can hear how things may happen. But at the end, today is one day, tomorrow is another day. And in the meantime, it happens a lot of things. Coming back to the supply chain environment, we don't know how many containers are going to be available tomorrow, right? We don't know what is, if tomorrow COVID will come again, or if a port will going to have a IT attack. So we don't know what is going to happen. So you really need to be flexible, understand that things changes, and that's it. And we have to be resilient. So and no one teaches you that. That is experience. And at the beginning, it creates frustration when you don't know what is going to happen or when something happens suddenly that you were not expecting. But the years, the issues, and the experiences make you think that, okay, we have to be ready because eventually things will change, and that's it. And that is the beauty as well of our work, right?
Yeah, I guess the be prepared for the unpredictable, I guess. Or
yeah. Tomorrow will be better or worse. We don't know, right? But it's going to be different for sure. Yeah. So just be ready. And when it comes, we will manage it. That's it.
Thank you so much, Damaris, for joining us today. And thank you so much to everyone listening in or watching this webinar. I think we had a great conversation. We covered professional lives. We covered leaders and mentors. We covered, work-life balance, and then even covered supply chain issues and how sort of teams are being empowered to manage that. So I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much, Damaris.
Thank you, Deepti, for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. And anytime, any question that you have or do you want to keep on asking me, here I am. So thank you.